Hi, welcome back. Here's another video. Just went out and found a car that I want to fix up. It's a 2009 Buick Enclave. The car is really nice inside and out. The only problem it has right now is it doesn't have a reverse. So there's a plate in the transmission that's broken, and we're going to take a look at fixing that. I've done a little bit of research, and supposedly you don't have to drop the whole engine and pull it out to get the tranny and get that plate fixed in the transmission. And from looking at some of the research on it, could be fairly simple and cheap. Plate less than $10 in the transmission to fix. So if I can do this the way I'm thinking, we could be into this for a really good price and maybe make a little money selling it down the road. So I'll go through the car with you really quick here. Alright, so here's the car. I saw it advertised for a real good price. The guy was actually trying to sell it, and somebody on a test drive, transmission came apart when somebody was test driving it, so I got it for a really good price. Paint is really good, chrome, headlights are nice, got some nice winter tires on it, and he gave me a set of Summers that have about 80% tread there. Only real thing here is got a crack along the lower part of the windshield, which really does not obstruct vision. Pinstripe on it. A little bit of clear coat coming off there, we can fix that. But really, might be the odd little ding in the door here and there, but nothing much at all. We'll go and check out the inside. Got some nice wood trim, fairly clean inside. I'm going to probably pull the seats out. I really like to give it a good clean. Has a little bit of a older car odor, but I like to shampoo the carpets really good. Leather is awesome on the seats here, just need a little cleaning. Driver's seat, obviously worn a little bit more. I'm not sure we're going to look into how to make this a little nicer. I don't know if a steam on that would help, but other than that, looks really good. And the back, the seats are all folded down. I had the tires I brought home in there. So we're going to start her up and have a listen. Funny thing is, there's no engine lights, and I cannot read any codes. Can't read any codes right now. 179,000 kilometers. Even got a half tank of gas. Alright. So take a look underneath here. And the other thing on this thing would be possibly timing chain. These 3.6 liter have a problem with timing chains stretching, wearing out. There's the culprit down there. Transmission. The oil in it was, or transmission fluid was fine in it. Alright, we're going to start digging into the Buick Enclave this morning. I'm going to degrease the transmission and engine area here a bit so it's a little nicer to work on. Alright, so what I've done is taken off the wiper blades and then the cowling piece that goes over there, and I'm going to loosen up the strut bolts or nuts on this side, and I've taken out the air box right here. Now what I'm going to do here is I've taken out the fender liner. So what I'm going to do here is loosen everything here to the wheel assembly here. Take that bolt out here, and we've already popped this out to take the cover. Steering knuckle, going to pop that one, because this whole subframe on this side I'm going to drop down. Leave the other side intact. I might loosen the bolts on the passenger side. For the driver's side, we've got under here. We've got these two here, and then the big one there, and then down further back there, I got, oh no, not that one, down here, that one, and then the two there behind it. So we're going to drop those, drop the strut, crack that. Oh, and we've got, looks like the anti-sway bar. I probably disconnect that one right here off of the strut so that whole thing can fall free. And then we've got to disconnect the steering wheel from the steering wheel pump there. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, before we drop everything, I am going to take the drain plug out of the transmission and drain as much oil out of there that we can. Okay, the drain plug is 11 millimeter, a little bit different. Here we go. Alright, so we've taken the engine mount off here. There's 1, 2, 3 bolts there. And for the mount itself, we took a bolt off underneath, or a nut off underneath and on top, and removed the engine mount. And ready to crack this thing open. I'm gonna open up the transmission again and see if I can get any more transmission fluid out, and then we'll crack her open and see what's broken. Okay, I've taken all the bolts off the transmission housing and loosened the bolt to the speed sensor there. I put a piece of cardboard underneath and kind of bent it so it would slowly drip out, so I didn't have a mess all over the place, and it's kind of going right into my drain pan. So I had it come over there, comes down there, and into there again. So I'm gonna let it drip for a minute, and then we'll get it into position and pull the cover off. Okay, so just as I figured, there's not enough slack in the speed sensor line right there. There's a little black line leading to the speed sensor out here. I'm gonna have to take off all the bolts on this front cover and unhook that. I thought I was going to be smart and be able to get away with it, but there's not enough room to pull that cover off without it. Alrighty, good news. We got the speed sensor loosened off and pulled through. There's enough slack to not have to pull it right through the casing. But in the bottom of that, when we pulled off the end case, we suspected the wave plate is in pieces. So I just got to run down and pick one up. It should be at the parts shop at the GM dealer. Alright, just got to the Chevy dealer and picked up the wave plate for the transmission, and take a look at this. Alright, there it is. AC Delco and a whopping $957 with tax. Yeah baby, let's put her in. Alright, there we go. Got the new wave plate installed right in there. All the other clutch plates back in place. And back together. Alright, I have put the end casing on. The front case, filled it up with Dextron V1. I guess that's 6 transmission fluid. And just a little hint for you. When you're putting on this end case, since I did it in the vehicle, and the car was lifted up, transmission tilted down, it was really hard to slide in all those plates and get them all in without them falling back out again. So what I did is I lowered the passenger side to the ground, and which tipped it up a little bit, and then I lifted up the transmission. But when you've got those clutch plates, what I did was, since they would like to tip forward a little bit, I took a little bit of wheel bearing lube and I put them on the back side of it so it would stick to the other plate. Not sure what that's going to do. Hopefully, because they were falling out, should work okay, I think. Anyway, that held the plates in place so I could put the end cover on. Big warning here, do not force this end cover on. This is very weak pot metal, so if you try and cinch any of those bolts up, those will snap the corners right off of your end plate. So it should just slide and pop right into place. So another pointer is, when you got those gears in there, twist them and turn them from side to side, and they kind of pop back into place and work their way in. You'll know it will slide back in and the end cover will fit right on. Be careful as you're pulling through the speed sensor cable that it's all the way through and you pull it up. So connect that up before you start cinching this up. Make sure you got enough slack or you won't have enough room to get it up to the plug on the top of the case there. So make sure that speed sensor wire cable goes all the way through. And okay, we're gonna button this up and back up the suspension here and give her a test. So just put some finishing touches on it, and there we go. Calgary Flames. Beautiful Buick Enclave. Alright, so there's another video. Hope that helped anybody. If you have any questions or comments, just put them down below. I'll do my best to answer them for you. Subscribe and like, and appreciate it very much. Have a great day.